So you'll notice every time we actually get below this red line, it's actually a warning that the recession is coming. Then it gets above the line, and then this gray bar here is the recession. Below, recession warning. Above, then the recession happens. Below, recession warning, and then it comes. And as you can see right now, what's happening right now is we're about to get back above this level here, which is about to signal, guess what? The next recession. Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Hey traders, John Howell here. Welcome to another update of the markets. The markets have been absolutely phenomenal. There's been some really amazing trades lately, and I want to give you guys a bit of an update of what I'm seeing across the markets. Guys, before I do start, just let you know that I'm actually personally running a trading challenge myself, and I'm allowing you to actually watch me, where I'm going to be starting a trading account myself, real trading account with $5,000, and my goal is to turn that into 6 figures. And I'm going to show you my trades, the system, the strategy, everything like that. So if you're interested in that, guys, the very first link in the description there, click on that, go get free access to the trading course. And the very first video you get after you register for the trading course, I'll give you all the details about how you can actually join me and watch me as I do this trading challenge if you're interested in that. Plus also you get the trading course as well too. So that first link in the description there, guys, click on that. Now, from the intro perspective, guys, let me actually bring this up through here. From the intro perspective that I was showing you, this is the chart here that I was actually showing you on the intro, and this is the recession here. And as you can see, right, you can see what's actually coming. And I want you to think about this from two sides here, okay? When we say recession, it's about to get hit, it's about to get bad, and so on and so forth. I want you to think about both two sides of the coin always, okay? Two sides of the coin. And it's really interesting when you think about like life in general, right? Sometimes what we think is really bad for us ends up becoming probably the best thing for us. You know what I mean? And you've probably been there before, right? I know for myself, through my whole trading career, some of my biggest losses have actually led to my biggest gains. And without my biggest losses in my trading career, I've been trading markets now for 19 years myself. And so without those biggest losses, I wouldn't be where I am right now today. So looking at this here, what I was talking about on the intro of this video was this was basically this 10 to 1 year. This is actually from guru.com. And as you can see, just keep it really simple. When the yield curve, these are the yield curve here, the spread. And if we keep it really simple, we just notice that whenever it gets below here, then that's actually signaling a recession. And then we actually go through here as well too, right? And now it's coming. It actually gets below, and then it gets above, and then these gray bars here, that's when the recession happened. So it gets below, comes back above, and the recession happened. Gets below, comes back up, then the recession happened. Same thing through here as well too, and as you can see what's happening right now. So, but if I zoom in on this particular chart here, look what's happening through here, okay? Look what's happening. We're actually getting back above, and if I go back over time, look at this here. We get back above, below the red line, come back above, recession, below recession, below recession, below recession. And now look what's happening now, right? We're getting back above here. Now, that's the first thing there, right? Ooh, so bad, recession. But I want you to be thinking about this from a cycle perspective here, okay? And this is probably one of the best things we can do while we're going through a tough time is not to look at it from a fear-based perspective, but have two sides of the coin. Just remember, what is a recession? A recession is when the market starts to increase in unemployment, right? We go from 3% to 7%, maybe even 5% unemployment, right? Let's just say the market, the unemployment goes from 5% to 3%. And I'm going to show you exactly what the charts are saying right now as well too, guys. I'll give you a bit of a technical analysis here, but I want to give you a bit of a blanket statement about across the markets here about why it's so important to not let that word recession get into you. Why? Because if there's 5% unemployment in the next recession, and we do know it's going to come, the recession. If there's 5% unemployment, and again, I got this from gurufocus.com, then guess what? There is 95% still employed, right? So the majority of people are still employed. Yes, the economy slows down and things happen, but the machine still ticks over, right? People are still employed, things are still happening, and there's a lot of money to be made. And I know for myself, traders, when I was before 2008, I was I was doing okay, right? I was doing around the 6-figure mark per year for when before 2008 stock market crash, right? And this is my trading career. But 2008, when the market crashed, that was my first 7-figure year for myself. Now, the purpose of me saying that is that if you know what to do, and again, I'm in that trading course, and that's the reason why I'm doing this trading challenge, is to show you what I'm doing, is that I want to try to impart this knowledge onto you, is to show you that if you're educated and you know what to look for in high quality setups, there's going to be such amazing setups to take advantage of. So when the COVID crash happened, my system that I trade was triggering off a lot of really good trades, and they just made some really, really, really good profits as the crash happened. So I want you to look at that from two side perspective, is that yes, a recession is coming, but also look at the other side, is that but most people are still employed, right? Yes, things start to slow down, but most people are still employed. We're just going through a bit of a contraction. But remember, there's two sides of the coin. When people say we're going to go through a recession, you automatically think world over, so on and so forth. Right? Now, what you can do is you can go down the path of let me actually bring this up here. You can go down the path of saying, well, John, that's the debt bubble's going to explode, and that's it. It's going to be all over, and so on and so forth. If you look at through history, right? If you actually look at it through history of what actually happens, we're probably not there yet. Okay, there's probably at least another one big more round of QE coming, because why? History gives this a 100% certainty of coming. So if you're worried about the debt bubble and it's all going to explode and so on and so forth, it's probably not here yet, right? That's where the whole Great Reset comes into it, probably around 2030. So initially, right now, whatever happens in 2030, let's actually worry about that when that comes. Okay, let's not try to get so worried about what may come even next year. From that perspective. Now, when we're actually talking about trading the markets is simply about focusing on what's happening right now on a short-term level basis. So that's a bit of a big picture level there. Again, this is from gurufocus.com, and you can see here that both the 10-2 and the 10-1, this is the yield spread here. You can see what's going on from there. When it comes to the recession coming. Again, now guys, I want you, even when the recession does start to come, and it's coming, one, anticipation, okay, cool, it's coming. Secondly, the number one thing you can do with inside yourself is to make sure you're taking care of yourself, right? Make sure, and the number one thing that I do, guys, even in stressful environments, is making sure that I'm stretching. And I know I'm just trying to help you guys that through stressful environments, the worst thing we can do, right, is get fearful, and in that fearful state, we end up making really bad decisions, which end up making the situation a lot worse. And why is that? A lot of our things, even myself, when I go through stressful times, I'm always making sure that I'm stretching and stretching and stretching. So I could be going through a whole bunch of mess, but I'm still calm within that mess to try to make much better decisions, not from a fear-based perspective, but making good decisions. And I slowly get my way out of it. Right? When I first started trading the markets, I was $250,000 in debt, and I lost everything. I had to move in with my mother and father-in-law at the time. And I had to figure out how to get this here. And again, that was $250,000 in debt from trading the markets. I borrowed money and I lost all the money, and that's where I started. Right, that was 19 years ago when I first started and I started trading. But even in that moment there, I realized that the number one thing I can do on a continuous basis, even when things are going well, is continue looking after my body in a matter of not, because when we're stressed and we become tight. Right, and our body becomes really tight. So I'm trying to share that with you guys, because especially when you're trading, now that's got everything to do with your trading, right? Because if you're going to come to the market to trade the market, if you're trading in a fearful state, your fear of missing out, your fear of things not working out well for you, well, guess what? You are going to make decisions based on that fear, right? FOMO and all that sort of stuff. But if you can be in just a little bit more relaxed state, even when things are going bad, right? I'm not saying to ignore the reality of things are going bad for you. But what I'm saying is that if you want to slowly chip at that problem in your life and slowly get out of it much quicker, then the best thing to do, right, is to make good decisions. Good decisions come from being in a bit more of a relaxed state. And when you start to relax your body by stretching it and so on and so forth, then you start to become a much more calmer mind, and that helps you have more solutions to your problem in that environment. And that's why Ray Dalio talks about meditating, right? I know for myself, my form of meditation is I do meditate as well. But one of my biggest things is making sure that I'm staying flexible. I'm stretching all the time. I'm stretching my hips because I go to the gym. I physically have a release as well too. I'm stretching all the time. I'm stretching my lower back, stretching my neck, stretching all my muscles around the side of my neck because that's where everything gets tight, right? My shoulders, all that sort of stuff, just to release it all so my body can flow, so therefore I can come up with solutions, not from a fear-based perspective, so I can actually move forward in a big way. Makes sense? And this is the way you can really dig yourself out to make better decisions. And over the course of, say, 3 months of doing this, 6 months of doing this, 12 months of this, that's how I actually got out of debt from $250,000, right? Of debt, because I slowly made much better decisions from there. Now, I'm not saying like there are times when I'm laying down in bed and other time I'm thinking, how the hell am I going to get out of this mess? This is so bad right now, and I'm stressing and I can't sleep. But I'm just trying to share with you some things that really has helped me and still helps me to this day. Whenever I go through, when the shit hits the fan, so to speak, it's still in my life and something happens, my kids or something like that, I'm always trying to remember that, one, have a physical release in the gym, but then also secondly, trying to bring myself back to that state. Because the reason why I'm talking at this, guys, is because I'm feeling like a lot of people right now, especially with the amount of debt that's happening right now on the public level, the credit card debts and so on and so forth, people are operating in a fearful state, and that fear is only going to bring more of whatever you are in within that state. And especially if you're trading the markets, it is the worst thing to do. That's the thing that's going to completely blow you up, because you got to keep digging a hole and digging a hole and digging a hole. And you know this, right? And this is where like, what are we doing outside of the markets to help us to become much, much better traders inside the markets? So, and again, guys, and it's all about making good decisions every day, right, in the markets here. Like, and then your number one decision, guys, especially trading, is like, what are you looking for on the charts? If you're trading the markets, you should know exactly what you're looking for. When you go to the market, what is your number one pattern? I've had a phenomenal trading, my last couple of weeks have been phenomenal for me. Really, really phenomenal. And again, like I share all my trades and stuff with my private clients there. That's the privilege they get from being a private client. And they see what the trades I'm making. They see the money I'm making from there. And that comes down to just really like, what am I looking for in a really good setup? And also, how do I cut my losses short when things are not working out? So there's a little bit of an update there, guys, about that. Again, yes, the recession's coming, but try not to dig deep into the whole fear of the recession, because if 5% unemployment, that still means there's 95% employed, right? And then within that, and the reason why I'm trying to get you to think about that side of things as well too, because what good is it for you, for your health, for your finances, for your decisions, for your kids, for your happiness, for you to live in a fearful state? Oh my goodness, it's coming, oh my goodness. Right? It's not good for you, right? And at the end of the day, guys, we just want to be happy, right? We want to be a bit more happier, right? How do you actually start to become more happier? Start to get your body a lot more relaxed, so it's not so tight and it's not so attached to the emotion and attached to fear, right? By letting your body relax, by stretching. When you do that, your body relaxes. When you do that, you feel a bit more calmer. When you feel a bit more calmer, you feel a bit more at peace. When you feel a bit more at peace, you start to become a little bit more happier in the current moment, and that allows you to make good decisions and so on and so forth. Anyway, again, guys, like, if you are interested in joining like my coaching program or something like that, or if you just need some help, guys, first link in the description, guys, click on that. I'm going to give you a free trading course around the actual technical analysis of things, which I'm going to go through right now. And also on the very first video, I'm going to talk to you more about how you can actually join me in my coaching program, but also see me actually take on this trading challenge from starting with a $5,000 trading account. I'm going to show you and growing that into six and seven figures from there. So if you're interested in that there, guys, that's first thing in the description there, go click on that. And again, guys, I'm going to get to the charts right now, but the purpose of me saying this is that I'm going to get to the technical analysis side of things, guys, but again, I want you to be making much, much better decisions in the markets there. So let's actually get into what the charts are talking about right now and a bit of a technical analysis side of things. So right now what we can see is, you can see the market has had an extraordinary big move to the upside. Very, very, very big move to the upside. You can see here it's actually got some gaps here as well too. So just a massive, massive move up. Now the big question for me is, we're right at this level of short-term level of resistance through here. So if we have a look at this from here, from this perspective, we can see that whole I'm just thinking about when I say that. There's that support and resistance right there. And the reason why I'm laughing, guys, is I remember I did a video a while ago, and when I said, oh, this is the support and resistance levels, and you guys can see that level there, right? You can see how it's got the support level here, support, you got a bit of resistance here, and we're right at that level right now. And someone said, John, tell me the number of the levels. Some people are feeding their cats. And I'm like, are you serious? Anyway, maybe they were joking around, but I'm still going to use it. So don't feed your cat. At least watch the watch the charts, okay? So we are making high, lower high, and now we've had this extraordinary big move up. So this actually could be a massive V bottom in the markets, and away we go. Now the big thing, traders, is I don't want you to be thinking, yes, the recession is coming, but I don't want you to be thinking automatically recession coming, stock market crash. Remember, the big thing to normalize your journey and stop you from FOMO is, what is a stock market crash? All right, let's actually zoom this out of here a bit more. All right, and then let's go to 2008. Look at this here. What is a stock market crash? Okay, so this is one thing I want you to stop. Try not to be FOMO of, oh, I'm going to short the market now before the market crashes. Because your mind thinks this, right? Your mind automatically thinks this. Big crash like that. Now, individual stocks are going to do that. They can do that, especially if they're very low liquid, right? But the thing is what is a stock market crash? And this way, guys, I don't want you to be like, I'm going to short the market now because the recession is going to come and I'm going to get in early. Maybe not. Maybe the market's going to go for another big move for another 3-4 months first, and then it's going to roll over and then go through a big crash. Like, we just don't know, right? So that's where, like, I don't want you to be trading. But as you can see, right, look at this here. This is a stock market crash. Oh my goodness, it's a big crash, right? Big crash. And yes, we do get these periods where we get strong movement down, stuff like that, when things really, really go bad. This was the banking crisis through here. But at the time, what was happening, right? Well, we're simply rolling over a downward trend from here. Makes sense? So as we're looking at this from that perspective, I want you to keep that in the front of your mind while trying to trade the markets now. Because if you're going, I'm going to short the market now because the market's going to crash and I'm going to get in early. But again, it may just be creating a V bottom. It comes down high, low, and we may do something like that for 3 or 4 months first, looking at where we are right now, right? This sort of big move to the upside. We may be creating that to the upside first, before we may be creating an upside movement. Man, I can't talk. A higher low before we start this uptrend first, before we actually see that next demo, right? So remember, the most important thing is to a downward trend is lower highs, right? And so if I go to my weekly charts here for a minute, and then I'm just going to share this with you. Look at this here. Even back here, I want to share this with you here because I want to try to neutralize your journey and not try to trade on FOMO, because when you do, that's when all my bad decisions have really happened in the past. I've traded on FOMO, and I've tried to like jump in and try to make a lot of money really quickly, and it never works that way, right? Higher low, this low, higher low, higher low, higher low, another higher low, another higher low, another higher low. That was now an equal low, and now guess what happened? Now we made a lower low, and now another lower high. That was a small little lower high, but we made a lower high. See how the whole thing started to change through here? And then the big movement started. Now this is a weekly chart here, right? But you can see here from this perspective, you can see how things started to change when we started to break the lows. So the most important part to an upward trend is a higher low. If the market's making higher lows, if we start to break a low, that's gonna give us a trend change warning in the markets. Make sense? So the purpose of me saying that is that looking at this weekly chart right now on this chart, what is this doing? This could just be a higher low, right? Like this on the big picture here. Look at this here. And again, look at this here. Up, down, lower low. Now we started to see what? A downward trend. And now then we started now we're starting upward trend, up high, down. What is this here? This could just be another higher low, right? As we said before, low, higher low. This could just be a pullback in the bull market right at this major level of support on this big massive weekly chart, 4,200. So this could just be what? A big pullback before we get going again. Makes sense? Again, on the weekly chart. This is why, guys, it's important to always try to keep an eye on the weekly chart. Well, I personally try to keep an eye on the weekly chart because it removes a lot of the noise, and it also gives me a bit of a gauge on, okay, we're going through a pullback right now. Is this a true pullback? Is it like a true change in trend, or is it just a bit of a pullback to scare some people. And this is the power of the weekly charts here. So if we go to the daily charts here, we can see low, lower high, lower high. Now we're getting a bit of a big strong bounce here, a bit of a V bottom bounce. What comes next, right? So what we want to see is we actually want to see the resuming of this upward trend on the S&P 500. So if I bring on my 52 moving average, you can see the 52 moving average is actually still trending down. It's still massively on the downside through here. So I would say, guys, that we're possibly not going to get like a massive move up from here, like a big move up, especially with all these gaps through here, massive gaps. Again, I could be wrong, but I would expect to see some form of a little bit of a pullback and at least get the moving average flattening out a bit, okay? We had a big move up. We may go sideways for a bit or maybe get like a bit of a pullback, get the moving average flattening out a bit, and then maybe start to get going from there. So that's what I'm looking at there from the S&P 500 perspective. Let's go look at the Nasdaq. Now the Nasdaq, once again, look at this here from the Nasdaq perspective. Let's go to the weekly charts. What's the Nasdaq doing? This is just going sideways, right? This is just the pullback here. It's let me just look at this from here, right? Up, down, higher, low, up. This could just be some form of a pullback before we get going again. So in this video, I've tried to give you two sides of the coin through here. Is that one? Yes, recession is coming, but remember that's like, is it coming now or is it coming 6 months from now? Or we do know it's coming, right? And it's just been alert that it's coming. Secondly, is on the flip side, is that even recession does happen, most people are still employed, the economy still ticks over, people are still buying, coffees and bread and stuff. Okay, so that's what happens through there. But also, secondly, is that if we're focusing on from a trading perspective and not like, oh my goodness, I'm going to short the market now before the market crashes, so I can get in early. The market is actually saying to us right now, this could just be another big pullback in an upward trend, just like here, right? Up, down, lower, high, downward trend, lower, high, downward trend, lower, high, and then this was the point here when it actually broke this high. And now we started to see higher lows, higher lows. This could just be another big strong high low before we actually see away we go from there. So just always keep that in mind as well. The Dow Jones is actually a lot different. We don't really have any clear trend on the Dow Jones from a weekly chart perspective. Looking at the daily charts here, and the one thing we can see from a daily chart perspective is there's a major resistance level through here. Very, 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 very big strong movement to the upside. So a big V bottom. What comes next? The scenario is that what I want to see is I want to see that I like to see what's called like an L-shaped pattern, right? Or like it's like down across or down and maybe something like that, right? Something like this here, down. See how it slowly went like that? It's a bit like an L-shaped pattern and then went down. Let's flip that upside down to make this upside down. So up and then maybe something like this, and then see. We want to see this sort of action happening here. If we can get that, then we can, as you can see, look at this here, up, sideways, and then back up again. If we can start to get this sort of L-shaped pattern through here, we can really start to see things completely change from there when it comes to the Dow Jones from there. So that's what I'm looking at there from that perspective there, guys. Let's go look at gold right now. And gold is still just holding through here. If we look at our 52 moving average, it's actually starting to slowly increase now, which is good, right? We're getting a little bit of a time through here as well too. Let's look at so I'm just looking at my 9 moving average. You can see the 9 moving average is starting to flatten out through here just a little bit. So again, guys, like, and we definitely are at that level through there. We definitely have this big level through here. I don't believe it's ready to go yet myself. I still believe we're probably likely to have like a bit of a sideways movement coming soon, or maybe like even a bit of a pullback coming soon out of gold. But at least a bit of sideways movement to just allow things to allow time to catch up. We had a big move up, and now maybe just go sideways for a bit. But this to me is the makings of what I believe. Now looking at the weekly charts, is the makings of what I honestly believe now. This is the makings here of seeing a big breakout to the upside overall on gold, and then gold is probably likely to see a really, really big move following from there. So really, really, really big move coming again. But this is a weekly chart here, but we may get something like that on the weekly chart for a couple of weeks, and then maybe see something like that. But once we start to get back above this level through here, which is that 2000 level, then we could start to see some really, really, really exciting moves coming from there. If I look at some of the actual the mining sector, guys, so say the GDXJ, the GDX. Look what's happening through here. We're starting to get we're starting to actually hold here and start to create a higher low from here. That's GDX, the GDXJ as well too. Right, another big nice move to the upside from here. Low, now high low, and now we're starting to get a nice little strong move to the upside. So we're getting a strong bounce from here. So this actually could be the start of a nice move coming out of the actual mining sector. We were making lower highs through here, but now we make a low. Now we're making a higher low from here as well too. So this actually could be the start of a nice move to the upside on that level from there. Let's go look at silver. If we look at this, the silver chart in itself, the big thing I'm always watching for on silver is this pattern through here, up, and then it's just done that there. The reason why I'm watching that is that because if we start to get a bit of a breakout here coming soon, something like that, breaking above this whole level of this whole downward trend through there, as you can see, if we just start to get something like that on the big picture when it comes to silver, then this could really start to see like a really nice move to the upside. So this is a big sort of chart through here. So as you can see, right, even though I'm talking about a recession coming at the start of this video, the big thing that's important is, guess what, is just that it doesn't mean market always go down, right? We could actually get a nice boom in the stock market, which may be happening right now. So focus on the markets. But then also secondly is that there's some really good opportunities that are coming around the corner. But then also thirdly is that if you're trading the markets, it's important to know what to look for. What is exactly the pattern you're looking for in the markets for you to trade really well. So there we go, traders. Hope this helps you out. Have an amazing day, traders. Please don't be trading based on fear. If you are in a very fearful state, then you have a physical release. And I'm not, all right, go gym, right? Gym. For a walk, stretch the body for a little bit. That's going to allow you to, if you want to dig yourself out of the mess, guys, make sure that you're doing whatever you can to have a bit more of a relaxed state, even when things are falling apart around you. And then that's going to allow you to make much better decisions and slowly crawl your way out of the situation you're in right now. Make better decisions and then have a much better future, because you're 12 months from now and 1 year from now, that person looking back is going to thank you for starting to make those small decisions, which compounds into big movements overall.